To all my doubters, we are early. How are we doing? I just had a feeling, I was in my room thinking about like when the next round would be. And I was like, I let me predict this. And I just started the stream ahead of time because I just thought no, it started at 3. Seems like they really need the break. So we have David Adriama versus Daniel. I will not say his surname. I always keep on messing up his surname. Okay, so today he plays the accelerated. I think he has not been playing the accelerated. He often plays this. So it seems he has been fixing his lines. Okay. E3. E6, you jump in with the knight straight away. That's what you want to do. Okay, he still doesn't know the move order. Move orders are very important at high level. You may say I'm being hard on him. I actually want him to see this, right? And my engine is actually up here. And if I was showing the full page, which you can't see right now, but if I was showing the full page, you see that he's actually not in a good position now. In the London system, where white is offering for choice, he's already lost his advantage, and it's because of c5. The position of the bishop is going to be an issue for him. But anyways, so let's go back to this. Now, I actually do want him to see this. His move order is very off. You see this, you jump here. Just don't think too much. You see this, you jump there. Okay, so bishop, knight, okay, still fine. This is very passive. Like, as a landing player, you see this, you're like, ooh, I'm definitely for choice here. If I turn on the engine here, it's now shifting towards white. This is very passive. And when your opponent plays like this, you're not in a hurry to castle. You are not in a hurry to castle. You can literally delay castling. You can go knight bd2 and go e4, e5 when your opponent's bishop is here. The reason is simple. As always, I've said this a billion times. You are targeting e5. So you bring the bishop out here because you are targeting e5. Your knight is here because you are targeting e5. You castle and you bring your rook here because you are targeting the e5 push. This slows down that whole move because if you castle, bring your rook to e8 and then bishop comes into d6, that's too many moves, right? Because you have moved your bishop once and twice, right? So that's the problem with this specific move. Okay, so now knight bd2. a5 is an interesting one. Sometimes the engine is like just play a4 and prevent any advance from going here. Again, like I said, you don't even have to play c5. It's not by force. You can just castle here. You can go for e4, e5 as an idea. So a4 is what he played. Okay, like it's not necessary, but if you want to prevent any future queenside pressure with this pawn being on like a4 or a3 or something like that, then you play this kind of move. You get it? So that's what is going on here. You can see I enjoy the learnness in the system, right? But it's not something you have to always respond to immediately, because you go a4. What that means is that you are kind of ceding this square. Your opponent, this is not a good idea, but your opponent can do this. And what you realize, is that now there are targets for you, right? a4. That's too much. e4, c5. We have a Sicilian. Okay, close Sicilian. The open is with c4 here, right? Takes, then they go d5, you jump in here, then you jump in here. That's open. This is closed. d6, e4. Now it's looking like a sort of knight off strangely, but again, same lines. Anyways, and then bishop to e3. I don't know if I can still call it a knight off. We saw this move yesterday, accompanied with like this, which was like a line I saw Fabiano Caruana play. Yeah, so nothing much. This Prince Takka versus Bernard Anhore. Okay. This is actually going now. Whoever, if they do win, like whoever does win this specific game, will be the sole lead for this week of matches. The remaining rounds, sorry, not rounds 5 and 6 will happen on next week Saturday. That's 16th, right? Let me confirm. That's Friday, yeah. So 16th, 17th, and 18th, right? Yeah. So the remaining rounds will happen then. So at the end of the first 4 rounds, we'll have a clear leader. That's if these guys don't draw. That's if they don't draw. If they don't draw, we end up in a very interesting position. He plays h3. H3 is always a nice low move. Okay, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5 as Spanish. As always, I'm always going to mention this Italian, Spanish, like knight g7, castles kingside, and then g6. That's interesting. I don't often see this in these kinds of e4 openings, but it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe it's going to transpose into a d5, d4 kind of opening at some point. But it's Clinton versus Mr. Philip. Aquanda versus, okay, this is a tale as old as time. This is a matchup we've seen multiple times. D4, knight f6, knight f3, e6, c4, e6, g3. This is a matchup we've seen like multiple times. There's nothing new happening over here. Knight takes c3, queen takes c3. I'm becoming a fan of this. Yes, there's problems, but yeah, I'm becoming a fan of that. And the last game, that's Clinton versus Morris. This might be an aggressive one. Morris is playing the aggressive Jobava London. That is to his style. I know this line. I have never played it because it's not my style. I like aggressive chess, but some aggression is just a little bit too much for me. This line, I saw it in a Hans Niemann. I saw it in a Hans Niemann chessable course, the free section. This is the line I saw with g4, g5. I never studied it. I looked at the line. I'm like, I'm going to be messing this up many times. And I don't think I'm really into this kind of aggressive chess. So I just wrote it off. But there are some very interesting lines that come out of it. Hans's Jobava line is also very interesting because there's this idea with trying to recall the idea. He likes, for example, if they play e3 here with from what I remember, I could be misremembering it. With this line, he likes this funny kind of position, and I mean it's a very strange line. C5 takes. The exchange just makes the game a little bit boring, but I mean you can still play. You can play a reversed Housebad structure. I like Housebad these days. A6, you want to prevent knight b5 here because of the threat of this, especially after c5 has been played. You've seen me play that trick 1,000 times. Bishop to g4, which is why, for example, you often want to wait until e6 has been played before you bring the knight in. So most people like to play slow moves. The bishop is always going to be planted here. In Jobava system lines, the bishop wants to be on e3, not on d4. One of the main reasons is the defense of this square. You can see conversely, like in the landing, because we have this and this holding onto this pawn, we don't need the queen's presence. And it's so crucial that you may, if you are not very careful about this, you're going to meet lines where this pawn falls because you're not actively watching to defend it, right? Knight f3, again, this is the issue with it. But I think I've studied another line where you could play like this. And it's like, instead of h3, you play this, then h3, takes, and then you take with the, like some very, very funny lines that can happen in these positions. So the Jobava is very, like, there's so much to be uncovered in the Jobava. I don't think it's been solved yet. H3 takes. Knight c6, castles queenside. E6, g4, and now bishop to d6. I don't know the lines here, but there is plans of like g5 if somebody is like wondering. Yeah, but he's going to go for his head here. And this is the thing. It is a good idea to go for his head, but this is Clinton. Okay, I said I'm not hyping. It seems my hyping him is not helping him. But this is Clinton. He takes his time. Like, I have had him before, and I had an aggressive position against him before, but you missed one step, you missed one timing, and he just takes over the game from there. So prepare. It's going to be interesting. I'm wondering if he's going to play this move, but I'm vaguely remembering the lines, and these kinds of funny moves are plausible in this kind of idea that he's trying to play. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff going on in this game. Gonna be a lot of stuff going on in this game for sure. So bishop d6 is where we are. We play this now. Takes, knight jumps in. I don't think you'll be like happy to see this. Yes, your opponent loses the ability to castle, but he does play g5. Okay. I felt g5. The timing is wrong for g5 here. This is obviously not where your opponent is going, right? That just helps your opponent. Here, maybe. Nah, not really. Takes because it comes with check. You have to slide back and some jumps. I'm thinking bishop takes first. But probably knight jumps in here. Coupled with this. It's not going to be so easy for white to open up the center. Plus, white does not have a dark squared bishop to deal with the dark squares that may come up in this position. But these are lines, like these are lines. I'm saying if he does this and this, but these are lines, like they are plausible. I don't know if you're going to aim for this rook he1 with the idea of this. This would definitely like provoke your opponent to castle for sure. But the thing is, if you don't know the line, you may step into something. But I do believe that like Clinton will not fall into any like strange line. Yeah. Okay, c3 when it's not needed. Like again, yes, that like London is a setup opening. Openings have setups. So it's a system-based opening where you play a specific setup, but you have to know when to play the setup, right? It's not provoked now. There's no need to play c3 now, even in this position. It's fine. He's not losing. The position is okay. But why? Why is the question here. Now c5, which is what your opponent would want to do. Yeah. You know, an interesting thing is if you could sack this knight, you could get a drawish position. I've seen this before and I don't think it's correct. So, some things I know by feeling, because I've played them in the past and I've sort of written them off my mind. What? Oh, he's gonna go for a manual castle. Okay, so but can't we just weaken his structure with this? Because like if he goes back with his knight, okay, we can't weaken the structure there. Yeah, he could just go back. Okay, he'll go back with his knight, and then we have ticks here. Bishop can't take because okay, he can't take. Okay, I'm hallucinating again. Trying to figure out if there's something we can do. I'm just wondering why this move wasn't played. Oh, okay, what am I saying? There's something wrong with me sometimes. Oh, okay. I see what I'm missing here. Yeah, so bishop is a good move. Yeah, bishop is a good move. I'm playing it from memory. In my memory, sometimes playing bishop to b4 is not a good move. But anyways, yeah, it's fine here. It's a very good move here. His opponent is going to manual castle. There's no real way that white is going to stop it. Knight jumps back, king comes in here, rook comes in here. He's going to manual castle. What you can try and do here as white is to go h4, h5. But maybe h4, your opponent is going to meet you on the other side with this. And the game you have to figure out your game from here. This is always something there for the future. You might reconsider and bring your bishop back because you do want to target that square. Let's say your opponent plays something like this. It's not correct, but you could try something along these lines if you think it works. You get this, but if you can play it, you can. If you can't, then you don't. So yeah, lots of stuff to be played here. I don't know why I was criticizing this move. Yeah, bishop to b5 is just fine. Just fine. Yeah, and he plays it after c5 when there's no longer something that can defend. For some reason, like, you know, you memorize the position the knight is here, so the knight defends here. So bishop blocks, bishop takes, knight takes, knight takes, queen takes, and you're complete. That's kind of like what I'm envisioning here. But yeah, white is definitely for choice here. Not greatly for choice, but definitely for choice. Okay, this is a very thematic idea by Prince Akbar. I learned when I was studying the Jobava London. Too many pawn moves. I mean, that's standard, right? That's standard London system ideas. The only pawn move I really do criticize is c3. c3 was not necessary. Every other thing, okay, c3 and then a4. But I can understand why. I can understand why you would go to such lengths, right? So these are the only the thing about this a4, a5, a5, a4 is that my issue with it is determining when it's actually not bad, because you can take it as a rule of thumb that if your opponent plays a4, just respond with a5. But when you study these lines where they come up the most, you realize that it's not every single time you should respond with a5. These Italian Lopez structures where a4, a5 is often played, you realize that it's not every single scenario where you want to respond to your opponent. Like, for example, if white plays a4, it's not every scenario you want to play a5. And if black plays a5, it's not every scenario you want to play a4, right? That's where I haven't discovered the secret to that, right? It's the same thing with c3, right? You in the London system, you always play c3, but you get to understand that c3 is not as necessary that you should always play as possible. c3 becomes a necessity when you see the knight on c6, because you know that the next plan is knight to b5, attacking your very key bishop. So you play this move to prevent the knight from getting access to it, because if the knight comes into b5, then you can easily slide your bishop back. That's one of the main reasons why that's one. The other reason, but that's one of the reasons why you play c3. So you can see why I'm saying that there's no issue here, because there's no knight coming into b5 to target this bishop. So the purpose of c3 is not met. Rather, you could even consider lines of c5. Not that you should play it here, but rather that's where your mind goes. Since c3 is not a necessity at this point, then I can just go c4. In some lines, there are other reasons why you play c3. For example, these fianchettoed structures, you want to do this so that it holds, it feels like a solid wall against the fianchettoed bishop. So that's the thing, right? The chess positions are dynamic. You have to be, you must be able to adapt to the dynamism that comes with chess positions. So I don't like to just give a rule that play a4 every time you see a5, or play a5 every time you see a4. It's not always recommended. Now, I've said all this, and the engine might just say a4 is the best move here. I'm just trying to make a point, right? That's not every single time you just want to respond in that way, right? Okay. Like even with c5, you don't want to play c3. Like, it's not always necessary. You could play c3 with c5, but okay, actually, yeah, c5 is actually one of the reasons why, because your opponent is going to play pawn push. And if your opponent locks down the position, your bishop can hide here on c2, which is one of the reasons. But sometimes your opponent plays c5. You don't want to play c3, because if they take this way, you take back. In some positions when the bishop is not under pressure in any way, shape, or form. Oh, London system. Now the London haters are like, wait, so you have to think about this much before you push your pawn? Yes! Stop hating on the London. There's a brain behind it, and that brain works. I don't care that Magnus said that it's an opening you can play with minimal preparation. I don't care. Nothing has happened here so far. Yeah, this move, I feel like it's too slow. When I study this attacking motif from Ginger GM, that's Grandmaster Simon Williams, he always mentioned this move as a necessity. Yes, when I don't play this move, it comes back to bite me in some positions, but there are times I feel like this move is too slow and helps your opponent solve the plausible attack you want to play on their position here. But I still don't understand g4. Why did he play g4? Let me go back. and that brain is 1600. You are lucky I don't have the ban button. You would be, wait, do I have a ban? Let me see if I can actually do that. Oh, I actually can do that. Oh, the power. Oh, the power. I'm literally going to harm people now. Yeah, because like G6, then the idea is this, and then you castle queenside, and the point is you go H4, H5, and there are some very quick attacking lines that you can play against your opponent. Yeah. I now know that I can ban and time out people. Oh, the power. Try speaking up against the landing system again. See where you land up. See where you land up. End up, sorry. Bishop to G7, Queen D2. All this is fine. He's playing Green Shark. I don't know if it's you, because I know a Green Shark. I don't know if it's you on. I don't know if you're on YouTube. I don't know if you're on Twitch, but I know the name Green Shark. I either have played against the Green Shark or I know the name Green Shark. One of them. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. So, anyways, it's necessary because you want to solve the alignment issue that happens here. And the next thing you also want to do is you want to get out of this obvious attack that your opponent steps in. But like the reason I like is that when you go this way, your opponent can now start what he wants. And I really want to be the one pushing the idea. So this basically you see a similar motif. It's not this per se, but let's say you are playing the Jubava London as white, right? And your opponent decides to go G6, right? This is like the follow-up with this here. Castles, some play knight bd2, and you are going to go h4. I like to go h4 here, but the best move, wait, so you play this first, so your opponent can play h5, then your opponent plays a move. Sometimes I don't know what that move is. Let me just make a move here, or a bad move here. I'll have to think about the lines, but the point is, in some position, right, let's just make this move. You want to play this move before you start playing h4, h5. But that allows something like this, right? And I hate that. I want to have the first point of contact with my opponent. That's like here straight away. So that if this move was c5 or whatever comes into play, I have the first point of contact. And yeah, you might be like, what? But yeah, you can actually sacrifice the knight here. And I had a very nice game like that. So very interesting positions that come up. But when you do play this move, they get the first point of contact, and I hate that. Though it is a safety first move, and I've made mistakes by leaving my king here because of alignment issues. Like you make a move like your opponent is going to play this move, for example, and so you play something like this, and now boom, you lose the bishop. And sometimes there's this alignment issue where you lose the queen. There are so many interesting things that happen here. So that's kind of like what I'm trying to allude to in this actual game. So it's the same idea, right? It's an attacking motif. It's not limited to a specific opening. It's an attacking motif. Like minority attack is an attacking motif. Greek gift sacrifice is an attacking motif. Like right, the normal H5, all these are attacking motifs. They are patterns of attack that you need to know. I'm here rambling. Am I streaming on multiple? Yes, YouTube and Twitch. Castles, queenside, castles, king goes, and then we go this way. I don't know about that. I think his plan here is to go bishop to e3 and trade off. But normally, you don't want to clarify that first. I was thinking I was going to actually go and play this. It's either you play c3 or you have the bishop here on e2. And the thing is, I don't think you play the motif the exact same way because the move orders are very different, right? The knight's location is different. Like so many things are different. So I don't think you can go the exact same way. So him not playing the way I would expect him to play, it's completely fine. But to go, like for example, if he was to go c3, then now h4, h5, I feel like that's too slow. So I'll just trust whatever he's doing here. And he does play bishop to e2. The knight doesn't have any good square to run away to. But I'll trust his motif here. I'll trust what he's doing. I'll trust that he knows what he's doing. I don't know if he's going to go b4 first and allow this. Or if he's going to try and trade or something like... I mean, if you trade, you still allow this though. And your opponent would definitely oblige. But then you get your knight freedom if this happens. So maybe you don't take the knight, but you take here first so that you can dislodge, you can mess up your opponent's structure and then think about this guy in the future. Okay, but yeah. So yeah, in that case, if your opponent takes here, you want to play this. You would want to play this. Otherwise, like if you capture back here, you lose your knight because it's 2 attackers. Yeah. So here you'd want to take here and then defend or retreat or something. Else you lose something. Queen can take. Okay, right on the money, knight takes d4. But if you can distract your opponent, you can, for example, now you might say, wait, you've traded your strong bishop. Yes, but you've also taken away your opponent's ability to attack your dark squares. This pawn may become an issue in the future for sure, but then now the knight goes free. And if he values his knight more in this position, then it's a win for him, right? If his position demands that he does that, it's a win for him. So I'm speaking very in favor of Prince Akbar here, but this game is just even. In my honest opinion, this game is just even. Nothing life-changing has happened yet. So with all that big talk, just know that I don't think anything is actually happening in this position. You could go, that's actually very dicey because you allow this. You allow this. You go down the pawn if that whole line happens, right? Let's see, bishop goes, but I don't know, maybe here. If your opponent allows it, then you go down the pawn here. Your king side is a little bit weak. Your pawns are split. It's not a transformation of a position you would like. Yeah, so he takes bishop takes first, and now the knight jumps in. Yeah, this is chess, right? This is chess at its should I say finest? Because we are not 2200 here. But this is beautiful. Like this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Now, if you didn't play it in this way, then you would say that white is definitely better here. But it's a purely evenish position. No one is making headway yet. White has purpose. Like white has his attacks. Like white has his ideas. Sorry, black has his ideas. Black is b4, b5, getting the queen in, getting the queen in, doubling the rooks, piling up pressure here. That's his idea. He can still do it. White is the same thing, weakening his opponent's structure. The rook is here to cause havoc on his squares. Like they both have plans, but in my experience, these things are easily shut down if both players know what. Which both players do know what they are doing. Maybe you want to come in here. I don't know. You still messed up this. Two good players tend to produce a good flow. Yeah, but that's what people don't like. People want we don't want draws in chess. Like that's the most common thing when two people are playing well, right? When the engines are playing, it's a draw. But white is the only one who has a chance of winning, and it's a very small chance of winning. Though white would win more, but chess played well is a draw. I mean, oh, yeah, I used to think draws were very rare and strange in chess. I was like, how would you even draw in the game of chess? I draw a lot these days. Like, it happens. I made a mistake here. If takes, knight here doesn't exist. The knight defend. Let's tell me that maybe the engine would disagree with me that no one is better. Okay, the engine likes white. I think maybe the engine supports that white's idea is much more pressing as compared to black. But again, plus 0.4 is not significant. We would consider it more significant in like 0.8, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. 0.7, I mean. Oh, he wants to trade on his terms. That way, in other words, if you go this way, he wants the queen on this diagonal. so that h4, h5 still comes with problems. Mind you, he's not bothered about this. He will go for this trade if he can. He will definitely go for it. Magnus is a computer, guys. Magnus is a computer. I think Magnus is AI in real life. The first biological AI, if we put it that way. That guy is on a different level. Like, if not because his peers are not 2,800, he should be 3,000. Like, Magnus is not at his peak rating, not because he can't get there, but because his peers won't. Like, imagine something that he took 3 months or something to earn a certain number of rating points, only for him to draw against the 2,200 and lose everything that he earned. Like, that's his situation right now. So I'll be right that he wants to continue the attack if he plays this. He could still continue the attack if he moves his knight, but you see the clear issue that this is going to have, which is that you've removed a defender of your king. It will make it harder for your opponent to reach like the pawns and start messing things up, but it's still something that could go. I am I believe more strongly that he's going to play queen because he wants to go h4, h5. If he doesn't, it doesn't mean he has given up on the attack. He's just finding an alternate route here. So queen takes e2. This is still the idea. So you can start with this to go this way. It holds, but basically the queen is kind of preventing it from happening. Actually, that's a very bad move. I forgot that this pawn is hanging. But yeah, you get the point. You know, Magnus is the exception in chess discussions. I mean, if you bring Magnus up, of course, it's like, oh, it's a drawn position, but if it was Magnus, he would win. Like, that's Magnus. I'm just kidding. He's proven that yes, you can do what you need to do to win a position. Let's go to the next game. I've doted on that game quite a bit. What? We're already trading down. We're already trading down. Doesn't mean wait. It's actually difficult to. I'm finding it difficult to guess quite next move because if you play like a certain, you might think this is just a slow move. It's just bishop here. This move. Actually, no. Yeah, you can't play it now. But this is something you have to think about. I was thinking that you would have to deal with it, but takes here is defended. The knight also defends this, so you don't have this move. So that what that means is your opponent would have to maybe retreat or something. Oh wait. Yeah, then you can't play this and you're targeting here. Actually, no, you can't because bishop takes. This is so annoying. There's a lot going on here. When I say there's a lot going on, I mean that it's not like immediately going to dwindle into a draw. There's still some ways that people can mess up in this exact position. That's what I mean. There's still play. Oh. So what, do we go like this? Still, this is an issue if that happens. Because now, this is actually an issue. So do we just... Again, if you do this and come in here, this is still an issue. Like, e5 is annoying. e4, sorry, is an annoying move here. e4 is an annoying move in this position. I'm really trying to figure out how we can, like, deal with it. This is met with this, so I don't see how this helps. c4 is met with queen takes. So I don't know how we are going to go about this one in particular. Maxwell is just hardworking. I mean, that is just anyways. Can we play this? Like, I want to find a move. Do we just or do we just go back with the? Oh, he plays Rook AD1. Okay, I've played that already. Do we just go this way? Again, this comes in. Yeah, but in this case, now you can play this and this. You can go takes. Your opponent can take it. The queen is still hanging. If pawn takes, can hide this way. But I still think a move like this, queen comes in, knight jumps in. That's if queen comes in, knight jumps in. The position should be equal, but I'm struggling. Okay, close bishop d2. I'm struggling to figure out what to do after e5, e4. Okay, I was also thinking about that. Queen e2. Yeah, queen e2. Queen e2. Queen e2 is also there. That's actually the simplest way. I'm so focused on developing the bishop. Yeah, queen e2. Queen e2, let's try it again. So let's here, queen e2, here. Oh, sorry. Takes. Again, we come in this way. Can play this. We can jump in with the knight. Knight takes. Let's play rook takes. No. That's bad. Sorry. Queen is hanging. Okay. Aban, welcome. That's if you play queen e2 now, right? But here it feels like again it should be an even position, but I'm having second thoughts. Yeah, so black Engine definitely thinks that black is for choice. Like Engine likes black. But it's not yet the time to play. Funny, as I'm here thinking about this move, Engine is saying here that we should best play h3. Oh. As I'm here trying to fight against this move, Engine is like, just make that move. If nothing has signified that e4 is about to be played, this is. And if after this move he still doesn't play e4, we are probably going to see f5. Now I don't like f5 because it opens up a diagonal to the king, but it may happen. Let's go and see Francis Akwanda. What if he did that? We would still. I mean, I personally would think about this move. I don't think this is a good position though. Probably this would happen, but I don't think it's a good position for white. Let me find out where Hasford is. That's Lakwanda. Okay. He lost a good bishop in this position. The big question. Do we take or do we continue to lock down the position? This white would want to break through here, but with the way things are going, things are being locked down. So I'm wondering, like, is there something that white has missed? He took. I get why you would take. I get why you would take. Uh, I don't know if that would be better because it's more or less that black is the one who has the target here. You don't like where Hasford's queen is? Sort of. I think he's looking here. That if your opponent does this, I don't know. I don't know for that one. Let's see. Okay, Morris is getting the aggressive position. Clinton's attack has not started yet. He's still in the responsive stage. I think he's definitely going to get this move in. But if I was playing as Morris, I'd be very happy with my position. The very simple plan is this. I don't know where exactly the king is going to go, but if you can see this happening, you are on the right track. Okay, yeah, king h7, king g7 is actually very good. Yeah. Is there this sacrifice? I don't get why you play knight takes d5. I don't know why you would play this here. It doesn't look right. But this is the position we're talking about. So if this is what you're saying, it doesn't look right. Knight takes d5 here doesn't look right. I'm trying to figure out. There are these sacrificial lines with the knight, the queen. The rook is on e1. Give me a second. Mm. Whoosh. I can't find a concrete way to attack here. The problem is that there's after the sacrifice. We'll get to that. I just want to see what's gonna go on here. Okay, back to David Diama. Would you guys want me to criticize again? Like, would you want me to criticize him again? Who wants to take a bet that David Diama is going to win this game? Maybe this move is going to help him. Who knows? Maybe I'm just being paranoid. Oh, he did play F5. Huh. Can't we just play H3? Wait. This guy is hanging. Why don't we take it? What's going on? What's missing? Mm. And now he castles kingside. That's like ballsy. I was thinking we are going to get this move. After towards the center. Attack the knight. Knight back on. All interesting lines. All interesting lines. I'm happy that the Hamatan and the Rains are coming in. Ghana has been hot for 2. All the attacks are taking a similar motif, which is kind of like what I'm enjoying today. Wait, what? How did we lose that? Oh, we did go for it. Okay, so we did go for this. We did sacrifice the knight for the rook. Now, okay, I won't speak much to it. I noticed that there are these attacking lines where you want to actually sacrifice the rook for the whatever piece over there to open up the lines. It's one of the things I've realized. I don't know what this move is. Okay, I don't know why I said that. But yeah, originally I was thinking about this move, h5. But there's a current threat on your board. No, actually there isn't, so you can go h5. Yeah, and h5, you should go this and play this move. And then we'd have to... Wait, what? Oh, you'd have to block with the bishop. And you can play this, right? Okay, so he did play this. We have the rook. No other move has been played. Rook takes a5. Yeah, this is what I was saying. I was saying that this might actually help. This board has also messed up again. This might actually help black, because black now has access to this square. Mm-hmm. Okay, we are going to go on a short 5-minute break. We'll be back and hopefully we'll see more action when we come back. Stay tuned, don't step out. I'll be back in 5 minutes. And we are back. Sorry about that. I couldn't find the milk. I was that's a funny joke. I was actually trying to make coffee, and I couldn't find the milk. The milk. Okay. Let's see what is going on. Daniel might make me swallow my words a bit. I'm a little concerned as to why. Okay, I'm not concerned. I know why now. Would we be bothered? You can't play. Like, would we really be bothered if our opponent takes? But I feel like if we can open this with this pawn attacking the knight has to move back or something. Would we not be happy to have this position? Now that the bishop doesn't exist, the surface that we have freed the bishop, this guy, but I don't. He's beginning to look like he has a much like better position. I just don't know. I'm just not so sure about Queen E2. If Queen E2 like helps him there. Um, the other thing I was looking at was this, but then of course your opponent can just play this. I like his point of this is I think he wants to keep this weakness and he wants to keep the file open. Right? If we can keep the E file open, maybe we can play Rook A to E1 and pile up some pressure on that guy, right? With the knight jumping in from B3 to C4, that kind of thing. I think that's sort of the idea he wants to go for. And they just might work, right? I feel like this may be too slow. I mean, I could be wrong. And if you take, I'm filtrating with my queen, and now taking back here is just going to open the position up for me. This is kind of like why I'm so interested in not playing Queen E2. Though, like, the point of Queen E2 is very clear and it's not bad. Like, it makes perfect sense why you would want to do this. Right? It even allows your knight to even remaneuver to this square. Though, again, if your opponent plays H6, yes, you might argue that the pawn can kick away the knight instantly, but it's a weakness, right? We can remaneuver and then something, right? Like, you can castle here, but wait, you can't? Oh yeah, he can't, sorry. Yeah, Daniel is going to make me eat my words. But this is again Adriama. He's been nailed in the coffin twice. By David Adriama. Let's see. Yeah, +1. +1 is significant. Yeah. I but prior to this movie, this is still +1. I think it's been more than +1 prior to this movie. But it's still +1. Yeah, so the moves here are G3, Rook C1, and then C4. Huh. None of these moves have been guessed by me. We need to. Let's go. Um, sorry. Okay, so he won this. Yeah, I didn't expect. Yeah. Yeah, so I was saying Prince Akpa was winning, but now it looks like Bernard has taken over the game now. Um, wait, is this accurate? No, this board does not look accurate to me. Okay, it is accurate. Sorry, I forgot he sacrificed here. Because Bernard is looking very good here. The engine is, I said the engine. He's down an exchange, but I feel like after this move in particular, White's under pressure. Especially after a move like b5. I would support black here. If you want to know my preference, I would want Bernard to win, not because of Divya, but I'm fine with either in truth. But yeah, they are like Akpa has, like, when you know some of them personally and you see them doing well, it's like, yeah, you deserve it. Like, you expect it, you know. And Akpa is somebody who has really been fighting for this. The plan is to sacrifice here, I'm guessing. If you can sacrifice the rook for the pawn, then you are threatening checkmate. So rook here is a possibility. So is it? I'm trying funny lines to see if anything opens up. He can do some stuff here. So maybe you may not want to start with b5. You also don't want to trade off queen. So it seems possible. Pressure on this pawn. Are we going to see rook e3? Rook e3 be out of pocket, but it's a plan. Even if the king moves here, you'd still consider, because if takes, you are winning the rook back. Actually, you are not. Bishop back. Check. Okay, you are. No, you aren't, but you get this. And in that time, is the counterattack strong? I'm making bad moves here, but you can get the... These moves just show you the weaknesses in the position and the possible points of entry. So I'm really looking into this move. Again, he stops it with this. Possible. Not 100% this. Funny move. Okay, no, that doesn't work. Right? It doesn't work. You've seen it already, right? So maybe he's not going to play this. Maybe I'm overhyping them. But what about here? It doesn't come with... Oh, that alone discourages me. Yeah, the fact that you can take rook and have tempo on the queen. I don't know. I'm really kind of like doubting. So we go here. Let's say he takes. We come in this way. I mean, he comes in here. You don't have time. You don't have time. Yeah. It's actually black who doesn't have time. You can even start the instant checkmate threat here. This is instant. Your opponent would have to respond to this now. But then what? Because now, like, There's no other point of entry if you go for bishop first. So I think you want to go for rook first, and then this way. I think that is more straightforward. So black is definitely threatening here. I still do think black is like really threatening here. I was trying to see if white had an idea with like rook g3, the sacrifice, but I think she does not. Wait, let's allow this and see again. Because this comes with check. Our opponent does not have to take. He comes in this way. What am I? Look, do you know there's something I've not been seeing this whole? I'm sure you guys have been seeing it and you've been screaming about at me. I keep forgetting the queen is on this rank. Like this move just doesn't work. It's a nice idea, but it just doesn't work. I just keep missing the fact that the queen is on this rank. It would have been a nice plan, but the queen is on the rank. It just doesn't work. I don't know why I just keep missing the obvious move. Yeah, so now my evaluation is changing a little bit. I thought there was potential with this, but since there's no absolute potential with this move, I would say Bernard is slightly better. No, I would say Bernard is better if not winning. Yeah, we're in rook c8. Like, what do you do here? Give up the pawn. Allow this. That way you can step in with this. Let me see what Queen c3 is what the engine suggests here. But it is minus 1.6, which is like very significant. Philip. Okay, so this is not a problem anymore. Was Philip always this aggressive? I don't remember. I don't remember if Philip was always this aggressive. Knight back to d2. He's rearranging the pieces. Wari Gold. You know, I've always had this perception of Wari Gold as an aggressive player. But it's like in this tournament, I don't see him. He has aggressed, but I don't see it like the way I would expect him to be aggressing. So now can we comfortably play knight? No, we still can't comfortably play knight. We still can't comfortably play knight. Nothing has happened after rook takes. Okay, I'll say that there's a problem with the board because he could have played rook takes immediately. He didn't. The queen side steps and now he takes. So I'm thinking what actually happened on the board was pawn takes, rook takes, queen comes in here, and we are now trying to find the next move, which I would expect should be this. And I would prefer black in this position. But I don't know, it remains to be seen that the board is not moving. So I think it's an issue with the boards. Clinton versus Morris. So yeah, Aban mentioned something in was it here? I think it was a different game. I don't think it's this game. Okay, so he did play h4. We had knight f5. He traded off the bishops. Queen to g4, supporting the h5 g6 push. Do we play it unprovoked? Because yeah, h5 is natural here. Rook. Yeah, it was this position. Yeah, because I remember I said knight takes d5, then rook e1. Pawn takes. Okay, we've seen this rook h. And Morris slowed down. Why is he worried about the knight stepping in? Is he worried about the knight stepping or is he worried about the queen? Yeah, knight wants to go to c4, and there's b4, b5, b5, b4. Rook up. He's now aiming to double. Takes, takes. You can't force the attack here. So I think we're looking at this, and I think the line has to do with this, this. Check. Was it check here rather? What was the check we looked at? And I think my conclusion was there's nothing. Have I changed the line? Says oh, that was a far off line. Yeah, that line did not work. Yeah, I was looking at this and I was like this. And I was like, yeah, I think. I was like, if this, he said if here, then takes, pawn takes with rook e1, and then we continue the attack so that like this doesn't happen. But I think he just blocks it. Oh no, he blocks it actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Maybe, yeah. Maybe, Aban, maybe. Wait. If he wanted to continue the attack, why didn't he take this way? Why didn't he take there? What did I miss? Okay, let's say rook takes the attack. I mean, you can just capture back this way and resume the attack later on. So there's no need to do that. Like the assumption here is if takes with the queen, and you have to deal with the incoming attack on your king. I've had to face this kind of attack before, and I think I survived. But yeah, if this is what you're fearing, it doesn't make sense. Why didn't he just play queen takes? The rook doesn't exist. Like this move doesn't exist. This is just checkmate. What was he? What was he afraid of? Is that just not it? Like, yeah, queen takes h3 is just the better move. Rook takes h3 actually is like is like this is minus 1.8. Don't know. According to the engine, he's now actually losing the game. As to how I can't see, because like knight jumps in here, fine. Let me just go before me. I mean, you don't want to do this because your opponent just takes. Sorry. Yeah, because now the rook there, you can't continue anything here. That just doesn't work. Because the knight is blocking this. Actually, I don't know what white to do here. I actually don't know what white does there. We just move the knight to try and get here. But like if we stay here, let's just make a random move. Isn't this just possible? Takes a check. You have to move somewhere, and then we can just win this guy. And the funny move is like this is just a problem. Is it though? Maybe knight takes is better. Oh wait, this is the position we have. Oh, so he didn't go b5. Okay. Yeah, I actually thought he was aiming for the sacrifice. Yeah. I actually thought he was aiming for the sacrifice here. Don't we just have this and we win the pawn? Isn't that just it? Like I really want to. The thing is, you have a plan of attack, right? You have a plan of attack, but you get to a point and you realize I actually can't attack. And that's sometimes where the difficulty comes in, right? Because your plan was to attack. I have one plan, it's attack. If you ever heard that joke before. But there's no way forward, and that's the. Well, if there's any sign of a problem, it's here, and you can't force an attack. I think that's why I played h3. Though, like a3, I don't know. Maybe he was worried about the knight coming here with the targets. But a3 felt too slow here. Then again, this as well. The point is you make it difficult for your opponent to start an attack here because you are always threatening mate in one. Right? So it makes it difficult for him to think about attacking here. Which now he can do. This move does exist. I don't throw that away. But it's very hard, you know. Oftentimes when you are on the attack, you are pressing the gas, like you are pushing for the attack, and it ends up being nothing. The hardest thing is knowing how to play the game from there. Sometimes, like I'm speaking from my experience as well. You get too locked in the mode of attack. You want to find a way to attack, but there's no attack. And as you're trying to attack, your opponent is slowly building up an advantage against you. And I think that's the classical thing that happened here. Like I wish I could pinpoint something. Let's see. Yeah, no, rook move is already too bad. A3 is already bad. King B1 is what, like, where did he, like, I want to know exactly. I don't think H5. Like, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly when he went wrong. Maybe he never had an attack to begin with. Engine thinks it's when he abandoned this file and went rook here. Maybe. I don't know. But this is not something I can easily point to that this is this is where he aired. Like, it's not that straightforward. So like we said, this is what he was aiming for. He wanted to trade and bring the queen in. Personally, I don't like this decision. Who cares what I think, right? But we have straightforward plans. You want to play this. It's slow, but you want to play it. Or if you feel like you can ignore it and aim for this, I still don't think you can actually win this pawn. Maybe c4 here is something, because you do create this potential, because there's more pawn pushes with more attacks on the king. But if you're purely thinking about piling up pressure here, he does play g3, knight jumps out. Yeah, if you're purely thinking about piling pressure here, you won't break free immediately. You have to time it right, because the moment you jump in here, he has pawn push, and you have to time it so right that by the time the pawn push comes, you can actually win this side. That's the thing. Well, actually, he has a nice idea. First, it's going to waste time, but I'm looking at. Oh wait, I'm done. Oh, he can actually. Oh wow, what am I seeing? The bishop blocks this. I was thinking the rook comes in here and all that kind of stuff. Like pawn push, come in here, we slate our rook here. I was thinking we have all the defenses covered, but so the funny line I'm looking at is here. If he plays this, you just simply come back, and you have a weakness here. That's it. There's nothing more. There is knight comes in here though. He could also still play this. C4 is the way. Like at the point you have to see C4. If your opponent comes in this way. The knight is not supposed to, but yeah. Is he really planning on playing this move, or is he planning on going knight d7? Is he planning on going knight d7, or is he planning on playing bishop d7? So now we're expecting to see this. Is this possible? It's possible. Is it a good move? I mean, hmm, we can't get the sacrifice, that's for sure. If Daniel wins this, that'll be crazy. Despite how I attacked a lot of his opening moves, he's in control of this game. Highly in control of this game. It can slip, but he's definitely in control of this game. If he slips for a few moves and doesn't know how to break forth in this position or like put his opponent under pressure in some way, shape, or form, black is going to solve his coordination problems, and the game just evens out from there. Mm, the knight just prevents it from. There is also knight jumping in here, locking the rook up temporarily. He's more concerned about this. Makes sense. Ah, no, he's not. This is what he's looking for, I think. I don't know if I really like it. I think he's slipping. Like the fact that the knight can block your it's bad. I don't know if it works. Let me try this out and see. Let's for argument's sake play this move. Let's say he does this. We go this way. Again, let's say he doesn't take. We take. He takes. I think no, that would this be what happens? Like I feel like this is so superficial and my opponent is just helping me. Again, if he takes, it's almost the exact same thing. Because let's for argument's sake, I need to make a move. I've not looked at what is good here. If takes, I take. My bishop is defending it. And this comes with check. Your rook is under target here. So okay, let's try and solve that issue. Go pawn push. Takes. Check. I don't know where the king moves to. Do we not have like yeah, we even have this fork here. That's my points. I don't know if this is really something we should be worried about. The answer, I'm sure maybe the answer intermezzo lies where this would actually come and play, but this is just not like straightforward. No, no. You just solved this opponent's problem. Now your weaknesses are becoming apparent. It's slipping. Bishop d3 is the. Oh, I didn't have to criticize. Like the bishop, which I was criticizing early on, was actually his best piece. And the thing is, your opponent isn't really well equipped. What I was first saying, I was talking about, we're discussing knight jumping here, blocking the rook. And when he said this, when he played this move, I was like, oh, the knight can jump in here. Now, there's an added benefit of the knight jumping in there, which is if your opponent, for example, tries to play we're over here. Let's just make a random move here. Let's see. I need a random move. Let's say this, right? This move doesn't work because you just have check. If he tries to defend it, this is what happens. And now you can break through. Maybe the argument to be made is that you are opening a very bad square up for your opponents. Maybe, like, you could say that by doing this, you are opening this whole thing up. Maybe that's an argument to be made. Maybe I'm over looking at it. The bishop retreat looks awkward. I won't be shocked if the engine is like, oh, that's the best move, because the engine never agrees with me. Your white is winning here, but the moment he makes this move, it's a draw. It's evenish in the opponent's, because again, like I'm saying, he has bishop e7. Here he was plus 1.2, and here he is now 0.3. Bishop to d3 is like a very, very questionable move. Trading off this bishop for this knight doesn't achieve anything for you. The knight is scary in regards to what it controls. But white is still the one calling the shots. Like I said, I played in what was called the Kopylov Memorial. Apparently, there's a Ghanaian chess player whose nickname was Kopylov, or Kopylov, however I want to pronounce it. And he used to have this thing he would say. He would call it track experience, which is basically like he was losing against a newbie or somebody who's weaker than him, and ends up winning because of one or two errors. So anytime he won, he would say track experience, right? All this was said during the memorial. And that's basically what's happening here. Track experience is causing this whole havoc. This is the piece that is like the rooks can't coordinate because of the bishop. And the bishop couldn't leave because of the weakness here. And also because of stuff like this. And stuff like this. And stuff like c4. But to move this away is to say, like, if David Adriame's shoulders were high like this, I can bet you that after he made this move, his shoulders just relaxed. That is literally what happened in this position, and it's not the best. I'm actually feeling bad for him now. But if you miss something like this, yeah. Hey, what happened? How we? Oh yeah, he did go down the exchange, but what happened? I thought we're straightforward winning. He did find a defensive move. Takes. Okay, that was expected. Okay, that's fine. The slow match to win this pawn. So the advantage of Bernard is the pawns. It's rook versus bishop, but this is winnable. Despite the obvious weakness of the bishop to stay on one color, these two pawns could cause a lot of problems. Because if white has to stay guarding this pawn to prevent these pawns from advancing, he's going to have a tough time. So I will envision an endgame here. It may or it may not happen, but the endgame would be that this king would win this pawn, and these two pawns would be close to promoting, or would be the guys who are trying to promote, and the rook would have to stay defending these two guys. That's the position I foresee happening. Right, so yeah, the king comes in here. He has to defend. Bishop comes in, king comes in, and now you attack him. He can't go to h4 to defend, and we win. He does have to be careful of the infiltration of the rook. If that happens, maybe he's in trouble. But as it stands now, like, this is not bad. How many cups? Actually, I've been advised to have just 2 cups of coffee, so this is my second one. I've not gone beyond 2 in a very long time. But if I have to do it for this tournament, I will. I was advised to do 2 a day with 2 cubes of sugar. Not cubes of sugar, sorry, with creamer. I could take 2 cubes of sugar, but I was supposed to do it with the creamer. There are days I just take 1, but I often do take the 2, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. But yeah, 2. I no longer do the 5 cups of coffee anymore. I no longer do it. And it's a shock to everyone who thought I was addicted, because I'm not. I'm taking 2 cups and that does mean that I've reduced the sugar content. It does mean that. Yeah, so like what I did there is a way you can, it's another aspect of planning. You try and envision the end game position. The king shouldn't come in here. He's going to work on that. The king is going to try and infiltrate, and he's going to work hard on stopping it. It's going to be a little bit crucial here. If the king is able to come in here, you should play this. He's going to now have to try and come in the other way around. Or he's going to simply, like, how can I make a move? Let's say we go in this way. He comes in this way. We play this move because we don't want him to come into this way. That then allows this to come in, and then we have this. And this is what you have to think about. This is what you have to think. This is where my mind is thinking about. 5? Is that a shock? 5 is not. I think people take more than me. Yeah, so if the rook does come in here, he still has to deal with the fact that there's a bishop blocking, or the bishop could be blocking. But eventually this rook has to be traded for one of these pawns. I think you can even allow the king to win these pawns and just focus on promoting here. You can always get the bishop back to, like, you can always hopefully my line is right here. Here. Pawn push doesn't do much of a difference. But let's say you come in this way. Again, I don't know if all this is right, but this is a possible line that can be played. Pawn push. Pawn push is actually where the confusion may come in because of the infiltration here. But I do think you can. Ooh, actually, once again, not so straightforward. But I do believe that Bernard is going to win. Yeah. Yeah, I used to take 5. I would take 1. I sleep very late. I'm changing that. It's something I'm working on. I normally sleep like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., sometimes 6 a.m. So when to stay awake, or sometimes I just want something warm, I would take a cup of coffee at that time. Then I would wake up at, I would sleep at whatever time. I would wake up at 9:30. If you notice, like, I'm always disheveled when I start streaming. I'm sure that's why sometimes I also drop my elo when I'm streaming, particularly because I'm very tired. So I wake up, I wash my face, and I turn on the stream, I put it on stream starting, and in that countdown, that 5-minute countdown, that's when I'm actually making my coffee and maybe ironing my shirt or something, because I want to be consistent with the 10. If I've ever woken up at 11, it means I slept like 8, right? I slept at like 8 a.m. from the previous day. Not like I've not actually slept since the previous day. So the coffee is kind of like keeping me up throughout the night. That's basically what the coffee is doing, or keeping me up throughout the day. And yeah, it was very unhealthy. What are they called? Is it psychiatrists? What are they called? Physiologists? Whatever it is. When I spoke to him, I was just open. I just said, look, I live a very unhealthy life. Yes, he did mention all that. He even mentioned that with even if I'm taking, let's say, 2.5 or 3 cubes of sugar, let's say I'm doing that, you might think, oh, I'm like mitigating my sugar intake, but the point is you're still taking 5 cups of coffee, which is like if you're taking 2 cubes of sugar, that's 10 cubes of sugar, right? And that's still health. That's still a problem with your health. Not to mention the caffeine and the other stuff, right? So, like, since when we have that meeting, it was in December, either end of November or December. So when I spoke to him, that's what he told me. I actually have to even get glasses. I spoke to an eye doctor. He says my pupils are dilating, so I have to get glasses. So many things I have to do. Don't worry, guys. But I'm fine. All in all, I'm fine. All in all, I just have to take precaution. Otherwise, the long term. So I'll not see like Kojaka you're saying. I'll not see anything until like let's say I'm late 30s or in my mid 40s. So I'm okay at this time. Is it raining again? Okay. So yeah, I have been managing my sleep. I have been sleeping these days. I sleep latest 12:31. I'm asleep. We're still working. Oh yeah, we can have a private convo. C4 is one of those other moves that again, if white manages to find a way to infiltrate black's position, that is his ticket out. That is what he's looking at. That's why I keep trying to make lines where the king infiltrates or where the rook infiltrates. That is his ticket out. So I think if he goes this way, take again, that is an infiltration. Like these are ways in which he can infiltrate. So for example, if you go this way, he tries this, right? This, all these are infiltrations. But I don't think it's going to work long term. That's the whole thing. This bishop's presence blocking here and all that kind of stuff. But I do think this bishop is going to leave here temporarily, especially after I move like this. Because you don't want, or maybe I'm just being too, you don't even need to move the bishop, just bring the king back. That's the only thing I'm a little concerned about. Do we just go this way? Yeah, we can just go that way. And then we go h4, h3. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Maybe we leave it. We go pawn push. We allow him to take. We go pawn push. Go back. Like it becomes very difficult to figure it out here. But that's his. Yeah, and now we can still go this way. It doesn't stop it. Your opponent should be going forward ever, but these kinds of moves just put you at ease. They put your mind at rest because you know your opponent has nothing anymore. King e3, you can just play this. I don't know if his opponent is going to try something like this. Sorry, that's not good. I was thinking about capturing this guy. King e3. Okay, we have a result. Okay, I already expected this to be a draw. Like I said, until as soon as time. These guys, they mostly draw. I don't think I've ever seen a win between the two of them before. Again, my memory doesn't serve me well. I mean, they are equally matched in whatever. They've played themselves too much. I mean, at this point, the draw between them is not anything big to talk about. Mr. Philip has been really attacking this tournament. He's been really like when you think that the game shouldn't have anything more, then he just starts pushing, and you're like, come on, bro. And I mean, it's all to how passive Warris's position was from here, where I was discussing the bishop's move. And he used all that time when Warris was trying to remaneuver his pieces to start pressing on this attack. And now he is certainly pressing. Yeah. Holding the position. Don't give your opponent a chance to do some funny counter-attacking something. Or even after pawn push, then your opponent can jump in here with this. Now just don't give him anything. That's basically what's going on here. So this is like a higher way, like, of understanding and attacking chess. You don't just go guns blazing, pushing pawns, opening lines. Sometimes you just have to consider what are my opponent's counter-attack options and try and mitigate them. You may not be able to stop them completely because you have to focus on the attack, but you can mitigate them a bit and then focus on the attack. Yeah. Oh wait, he didn't go. Hmm. Doesn't. Am I the one missing something here? I don't see how this wouldn't make any sense. This is there something about the back rank I'm not visualizing well enough? Was bishop c8? Ah, wait. Why black is still going to win this? But I don't know. I was thinking. It was very straightforward. Let me consult the engine about this. Wow. Wait, sorry. The king comes in. G4. Yeah, G4 is straightforward. G4 is like completely winning. The option he plays, it's now minus 0.8. G4 is like minus 6.8. Now, there's something I've noticed about some of Bernard's games. Okay, right now it says minus 2.2. Sometimes he makes the least most favorable move, but he still ends up winning. But like, let's say he drops from minus 5 to minus 1, it's still an advantage, so he still ends up winning. So he drops from like minus 6 to minus 8, minus 0.8, and he's like, okay, he's still fine. So he's still winning. His opponent coming in this way did not help. I still don't like the fact that the king and the rook are getting a chance to defend the position. It makes it a little bit difficult to play. You are still winning, but it's not as straightforward again. Still, my question is, how do we begin? Do we start with F4 or E4? Because let me just make a random move here again. This move can just be locked. Maybe okay, locking your opponent's queen there. Because the queen will have a hard time coming back into the game. It's really. Oh, give me a second. I don't know. Recently, my PC heats up a lot. If it overheats, it goes off. It's really been heating these days. Mostly when I'm streaming, not when I'm doing other stuff. But, like right now, it feels very hot as I'm like touching my key. It feels very hot. Wait. What happened? What happened? What happened? What? Oh, yeah, the counter begins. Wait, I thought he could win the knight, the pawn somewhere. Yeah, I thought he could win the No, not here. There was another position. Okay, he went on a loop-de-loop, and yeah, he's still infiltrated. There's nothing not being done here. Are we going this way? A5, A4, A5, B4. Takes. No, that doesn't work. Bishop is on pre. Maybe I'll take this way. Step in this way. Have a potential pass pawn here. He does take. The question is, how do you want to capture back? I think this is the best way to capture back. Yeah, how much is the like? I've gone to some of the tech stores around. They don't have that. Some of them don't even know what I'm talking about. It's very funny. Sincerely, I don't like seeing people unhappy, so I want Clinton to win this. I would want Morris to win because he's a newcomer, but I mean Clinton needs a break. There's a slow pride to win this idea. Anyways, I just want Clinton to win this for his sake. Oh wait, we have bishop attacking the rook. If the rook decides to hang out here, we have this move. Now the continuation from here doesn't make any sense. Oh, but actually I've messed up here because your opponent just takes here. Maybe I'm still okay with that. Because in this case, the bishop still doesn't have like a decent way to move. This doesn't work, but it's worth it. Would anyone play this position? Like, if you were white, would you play this position? Because my immediate problem with this whole thing is a5, a4, a4, a3. Because takes, and now the rook just infiltrates the rook. I know there are some mad lads who would take this position. I wouldn't take this position. White is winning, according to the engine. Again, this is a very strange line. I forced things to work for white here. But shouldn't this, let's look at here, it's winning. So where did I err? Oh wait, no. So takes, and you should go the king first. Oh, okay, yeah. Sidelines. This game is gonna pain me for Daniel. I like this. I expected this to happen just due to experience level. I expected this to happen just due to experience level, but I was hoping for something different. Can you win a pawn? Let's see. So something like this. 4 can win a pawn. What was the line? I was looking at this. How do we fork here? Because check here isn't the 4. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Then do we just play this move? Add another defender to this. Because now the knight would have to move somewhere. Let's, for argument's sake, say here. Wait, no. What the hell am I saying? Sorry, here. I don't see the... Okay, so we jump here. Our plan is to come in here. Oh, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. And it's even considered winning. So where is the mistake? Because obviously black is winning this position. Wait, if we play bishop, wait, what? Okay, so his move here is wrong. So if in this position he played bishop here and his opponent captures with the knight, after a takes, he has to go a4. Okay, that makes perfect sense. But white is still considered winning here. Then we have rook a1. So why wouldn't this move work? So yeah, this, okay, so a4, now knight jumps in here. Is not possible. Yeah. And check capturing here is not possible. Yeah, so yeah, the only way it works is if our opponent blunders by playing bishop here. That's the only way it works. So you shouldn't allow that. So both our lines, the reason why they don't work is because the reason why they work is because our opponent blunders and plays the bishop. So he shouldn't do that. There are quite a number of people watching today. Yesterday, there were not so many people watching. I'm talking about live from Chess. There weren't so much yesterday. I'm loving the numbers today. And I hope you guys are excited for the women's nationals. I think it's been 2 years since we last had one. Since we last had a women's nationals. So it's going to be very exciting to see the new faces, the new names, and some of the old faces as well. I'm very interested in this specific topic. That's good. Yep. White is still for choice, but again, I'm still, based on experience, I still think Daniel may not know what to do with the position. Because if you ask me, I don't know why he played rook c2. Okay, that's a lie. I see the idea, but I don't know why you would want to play rook c2. Guys, as always, if you haven't already, I know it's very annoying to hear. Remember to subscribe. It does help me out. And I'm hoping, like, I always seem to miss the Nigerian tournament. I have to find a way to find the Nigerian tournaments and any other African tournament. Not all of them are live streamed, but if I could get some of them, I'd be very, very happy. To look through them. Like I said, if Jessie February also streams, if I could also work with her as well, I'll be very happy. Like to cover as many as I can. I mean, not everyone. I mean, man has to rest, but to cover some of them, I would be very happy to see that. I think he wants to. It doesn't work. Still doesn't work. It doesn't work. The main point has to do with like this. If this guy was defended, then we would have a position. But the point is, even if you take here and I take back, right? I can't go for the 3 pawn. We come back and the position kind of repeats itself. And if we start repeating, then we are entering a drawn position. Though his plan is to play c4 at some point. I think that's Daniel's plan. Play c4. Can he play it here? Maybe he can. c4, d takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes. Then rook. And you have some questions to answer for yourself. Engine keeps recommending b3 and g4. Whoa, we are at the 2-hour mark. Guys, I know you're enjoying the stream so far, but I'm taking a short 5-minute break. I'll be back in 5 minutes. By that time, I'm sure we'll have more conclusions about this game. I'll see you. Don't turn that down. Leg for a bit. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so yeah, so like we did mention, though this is coming a little bit too late, he has at least played it. But there's, oh wait, actually, the pin doesn't exist here. We do see this. Actually, it does exist. What am I saying? Yeah, you can do this to your opponent. And then we go thinking. You never left? Hey, that's great. That's great. That's great. I hope it was exactly 5 minutes because I set my timer for 3.5 minutes. I don't know. I don't know if I was on time or not because I came back and saw the B right there. We are back. Wait, let me just quickly get to this. Bernard beat Prince Akbar. Oh wait, why am I talking like I'm shocked? He was definitely going to win at some point. Okay, with the way Bernard goes about it, there's no issue. I was trying to make room for allowing your opponent to win your pawns and just keep on focusing on this. But he doesn't even push the pawn he needs to push. He pushes the other one. Oh, that's class. You know, I kept on saying the plan has to do with this. That's just class. It is like, relax my pawns. Let's deal with this. And the whole thing that's going to happen is I should make it longer next time. We'll see. We'll see. So like this, if we are going to imagine a whole scenario, what's going to happen is we're going to trade this for this. The king is going to capture this. The rook is going to trade itself for the pawn. And we're going to have a king and a bishop and 2 pawns versus this guy. And that would be the end game. That could be what would happen at the end, right? That could be what would happen at the end. My boy, he's the sole lead. And Toby Felix, if you are still watching, I can't wait to see you play next week. That's one. And number 2, the lead chess standings have been fixed. I spoke to Maxwell and they got it done. So right now the lead chess standing should match what we do have on chess results. If there's any other correction that needs to be made, you can always let me know. We really do appreciate all the contributions towards making Ghana chess grow. Oh, we did get this. I was like, let's just try and move, and we actually did get this move. That's very funny. Okay. I was thinking it's risky because you are on defending the bishop. But of course, if pawn push happens, you're the one initiating the captures. But I was just like, maybe that won't happen. Sincerely, like, it's very difficult for me to know how some attacks progress because here it's very confusing in a sense. There's also this aspect that you don't want to lose your queen now. If you try and play this to avoid it, you're putting yourself in this position. So there's like quite a lot of things to consider. That's why I'm not so like, oh, let's just push a pawn or something. There are like maybe other things that need to be addressed. So he might start with this. Again, I don't like it because this, again, I don't know if you're okay allowing this. I don't know. Maybe you are, because this comes with a fork. Let's go king up. Or you can't even play king up yet. But here. And now we push. Oh, this is giving me flashbacks to the Caruana game where he locks everything down. Of course, that's not what we're going to get here, but that would have been so beautiful. Because like takes, I think you take with the rook here. And this is obviously better for black. Because takes. Is it obvious? I mean, if you play 2, we lock it this way. And if you play once, you do the same here, we can lock it in. Actually, no, we wouldn't lock it in. We would. Yeah, we could play this. We don't want the king to infiltrate so quickly. I think it was either MVL or Levon Aroni. I think it was MVL. I think it was MVL. It was a very like positional vice grip. It's on my my YouTube channel. You can go to the videos portion. It's I've written positional masterpiece or something, or masterclass. You see Karana's image there. It was a crazy game. Like I'm like, this is the way I want to play chess. I want to squeeze my opponents till there's no more life in them. I know most people want to just go for the head. I want to slowly watch my opponents lose hope in life. You watch them as the hope leaves their eyes. They came to the game with so much energy, so much joy. But it gets to the point in the game, they just can't make a move. There's nothing good in the position for them. All they can do is just move their king back and forth, gasping for air, but you are slowly taking out the air from their lungs till their eyes shut out. That's the best kind of chess you can ever play. Okay, this just in. Clinton gets his first win. He can no longer draw. He can no longer lose. Like I said, he only has 1 draw and 6 more wins. Any other thing, the only way he gets to the Olympiad is as a reserve. Let's see what happens. Let us see what happens. So how did we put this down? Okay, so what was this? Yeah, like I said, it's the funny way this ends. You just bring the rook back and then just come in this way. Takes, and the king is not coming in time. This whole thing about timing is very important. Actually, no, you don't start with that. I think you start with this. Takes, if he comes in, I think you start with this. That way he has to take a passant, which gives you the extra move. No, I'm wrong there. How do we get there? How get there? Oh yeah, we have this move. Yeah, that's how you get there. I was wondering how we get there. And now the knights come into the game, and we slowly but surely promote. The knight is not coming here in time. Okay, actually, what do you do here? Knight comes in. If you come in this way, you face this, but that allows this. If you come in this way, I don't know. Well, you're kind of happy doing this because eventually you are going to get your knight in and play. No, that's not it. Oh, are we just going to sneak this way? Does that work? Oh no. How do you put the nail in the coffin? Because with this position, he has pawn push. I need the king out of there. Let's see. Then we can go here, check. Takes, king comes in, then pawn. Nope, not this. Here. I don't know, it's still creepy. So you want to avoid getting checked. It's still creepy here. I don't know exactly what's going on in this position. Exactly. So yeah, we can move on to the next game. I really don't know how you put this in the coffin. That's actually what I'm. How he knight c4. Knight f. Do we simply go knight d3 here and win from there? Okay, let's go pawn push, knight d3. Pawn push again. King comes in this way. We are trying to get in here. Pawn push. Wow, how can we make this position? What? Okay, I need to see. King e2. Okay, this is my problem move. Why am I so dumb? Can somebody explain why I'm so dumb? Can somebody just explain to me why I'm so dumb? Like, how do I keep forgetting that this? Oh my! I feel so stupid. I feel so stupid. I'm sure everybody's on their screens like, what is this guy talking about? Like, why am I not seeing this? Like, why am I not seeing this? It's so funny. But is it possible that, like, if that didn't exist, that's just a win? Let's just make a bad move and try and see something here. Let's say takes, and then takes. Let's see this. It's still winning, fine. But then how then do we win? We go king f3. My issue was this. Then we go king e3. Then the knight, he keeps checking. And we go king. Okay. Yeah, black. I just wanted to know why he's winning. That was all. That was all I wanted to know. Let's go. Wait, he got this? Oh no. What? How did he get this? No, but my blindness is too much. That's the issue. Why am I blind to everything? Like, I'm so focused on the problem, I don't see that the problem doesn't exist. That's the problem. That's the problem. Red Star, welcome. So, yeah. This is what, like, I think he was aiming for. Because once you get this, it's actually, like... We continue from here. Wait, oh, there's some moves here, okay. A5. A5. And this is just checkmate, okay. So, wait, what? So what, how does he even stop? He has to sacrifice something here. No, he doesn't have to. You don't even have to play a5. You could go this way. Let's say he comes in here. You can take. So maybe he goes in this way. That allows pawn takes, if you so please. Yeah, he's infiltrating. That's interesting. Like I feel so stupid considering knight c. Like, what? Knight c4? Why could I not just see that? Oh my goodness, that was so dumb. That was so dumb. I was here thinking this is the most brilliant move ever, forgetting that there's a knight just gonna. I'm just calm. Why was I spent 9 hours calculating that. Rook h7. Rook h7. He has a tough move, because if you play that, I don't want to lose this. We've already established this. If we ignore it, and let's say we take here this exact same thing. By the way, anyway, the two black advanced pawns are just too much. Yes, they are just too much. It's just that I was kind of trying to figure out like how we push them. Either mate or queen, yeah. Either was going to happen. I just wanted to know how it was going to happen. That was my biggest issue. Takes and then we mate, right? Yeah, this is too strong. This is too strong. Oh, guys, do you think I'm actually just tricking you, making you think that I don't see anything, so that when you sit in front of me in a chessboard, you'll be like, oh, this guy, I've watched the stream, he sucks. and I checkmate you in 5 moves. What do you think? That would be like the most brilliant strategy ever. Okay, David Drama is actually on the scoreboard. I was thinking he had 0. But if you lose to Daniel, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy if he loses to Daniel in this position. So he does go for this line. We looked at this. If he comes back here, you win this. So if you don't want that, you may have to go this way. In which case, you could play this. Just happy to see my broadcast on Leeches. Hey, nice. Good to know that Leeches is helping out. I can't fool you. I mean, you don't play chess anymore? Look, I'm sad, but it's understandable. There's one thing that all chess players say. Oh, it's the cheaters you're talking about. I think I'm talking about the complexity. Every chess player says they hate chess until they win a game and they're like, I love chess. But we all just hate chess. And it's straight. Is it that I don't face cheaters or the cheaters are not caught in my situation? Because sometimes the thing about cheating is that people are too paranoid about the cheating. So sometimes you can't really tell. Right? You just can't tell. If these days, if you are having a bad day and you are just losing, you just start thinking that everybody is cheating. You know? You start thinking so many things. A takes B4. Okay. He has the luxury to make such a move. Oh, Daniel. At this point, I love you. You played the London wrong, but you proved to us why playing the London, whether good or bad, is the best opening ever. But if you try to defend, it's over. Actually, it's not so over. Actually, it is over. Yeah, takes. If you take, I take. And if you take, sayonara. Oh my goodness, guys, play the London. Please, if he loses, it's not the London system fault. It's not the London system's fault. But if he wins, it's the London system's fault. Yeah. But that's beautiful. You have to go all the way back. This doesn't work. You have to go all the way back. Which allows you to play pawn push, and you still can't stop it from moving because of this. So now you are facing an issue here. Again, like the point is, you play this, there's check. You find another. Sorry. You find something else to do. We play pawn push. If you take with the knight, bam. Anyways, Daniel, put it in the bag. Put it in the bag. In fact, that's a very good in-between move, right? To go straight for this doesn't help. Just solve the issue. He does have knights, okay? But once again, these lines exist. Once again, these lines. I don't. Actually, all this is bad. I'm realizing that the moment you go this way and this comes in. Actually, no, we are playing this first. But the issue I'm trying to point out is this. Nah, I don't think we can sacrifice it there. Okay. This gives us check, and we connect these guys up. Can't switch, can we? This would work, but that's too far-fetched. It's too far down the line, and I'm making mistakes in that calculation. So I'm seeing this. Has my mindset changed? No. But it's good to see that he's doing something. Wait, don't we just check here? Yeah, that comes with tempo. Yeah, that's actually much better. Rather than taking immediately, we can go check here. That forces the king back, and then we have this move in which we win with tempo, right? Everything here is forced, right? Check here. If he goes back, then we can just play takes with check. We can just take, right? He goes here first. I don't like it that much because I felt this is more pressing. This because knight takes is a bit. Oh, this check, no mates, yeah. But this is mates, not yet. He has this. This has to be mates. It's not all forced though. Like there are so many sidelines our opponent can play. So he doesn't have to come in this way to allow this, come in here to allow this, to come in here to allow this. He doesn't have to do all that. Like even if you played this, you could just say I'm coming in. Pawn push again doesn't do much. You have check. What's the way forward? Or do we just start with check? If you come in here, I just play. No. The continuation is the issue here. How he continues is the issue here. Okay, how did Philip continue the attack? So he immediately went for e4. Okay, I was looking at something else. Rook takes, and now pawn takes. Pawn push again. Okay, avoiding the queen trade. I still gonna play pawn push to attack this guy. Okay, he prevents pawn push. Ah, isn't this not? This I don't get. That's a crazy sacrifice. Did Mr. Philip just blunder? I think this is a blunder. I don't see how this is correct. Unless of course the board is wrong. This is just a clear blunder. The best is this. He's gonna be so pissed because he knows I'm going to make a video about it. Because if anything, like you can't really even target here. Like this is just bad, right? That's just a blunder. Yeah, just a blunder. Worry Gold. If this is actually what's happening on the board, Worry Gold is smiling. And this is the thing I said I hate about chess, right? It's 90 plus 30. You sit down, we started around at what, 3? You sit down for 2.5 hours. You've pushed your opponent. You are winning the game. It's time to cut your opponent's head off. You make one mistake, and 2.5 hours of sitting down, calculating, racking your brain, gaining small advantages against your opponent that match up to a winning position is just wasted. Like no, even even if the queen was here, the move still doesn't make any sense. Let's just for argument's sake play this move. The move just still doesn't like, because your opponent can just take. What was he thinking about? I still don't see it. I still don't see it. It's possible he's just resigned. This is not the usual, oh, it's just a knight. This is serious business because you can't capture back. So you may have to allow your opponent to capture back. And if white captures here and you capture back, this is an issue. This guy is also dropping. It's over here. It's over. Mr. Philip, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to make a video. I'm just kidding. I don't know if I'll be able to do a recap of all of these games. I'm done with the Biney game versus David Drama. I'll just have to post everything. Let's go back to the only game I think actually has. Okay, how do you continue? So he went with the check. Okay. Wait, but this direction allows this move. And the issue I have is like this. King comes in, check. You go back. Check. Wait, checkmate, yeah. But why'd you go back? Your opponent went back. This is a... How does he stop it? What am I missing? He's defending. Oh, no. Okay, I get it. It's not that bad, but like you could go forward. Like he's defending this and at the same time opening up this attack. The opponent is going to defend this way, and then you're going to be like, okay, now let me push. But now you don't have the resources to stop this move. Maybe you do. I mean, he has done enough to get to this point. Let me trust him to win it from here. Let me see what's like. Check. Yeah, G6. G6, Rook H8. All of these things help you win. G6 is just like crazy. By the way, it's just one-time control. It's just one-time control. So on move 40, nothing is added on. And in case you're thinking the Rama's time is low, this is what he has been doing since phase 1. He's literally just been doing this since phase 1. Why do I think Loglo has played better in round 4? It may not be Loglo, it may be Adriama. It may not be Daniel, it may be Adriama. Adriama has had like a losing streak as a standard. Why did I click it? But he's been losing on a while now. It could be just him. Because, again, if you've been like following what I've been saying about the games so far, look, Daniel has been playing subpar moves. This move I criticized, but it's actually very good. He seemed to be making headways, then he starts letting it slip, then we start seeing bad decision making by what's his name, David Adriama. So it's less of him playing better, though he is making some crazy moves, like with the way he's been playing all tournament, like since round 1. These moves are much better, but there's still the added ingredient of David Adriama not being on form. And we finally have the conclusion. Philip Ameku did lose to Warigold, or Waris Abdul Ramin Waris Clinton. Yeah. So this is the last game. So I don't think it's any. Again, I don't know the guy. That's another thing. So I don't know whether he's overperforming or underperforming. I'm basing him on I'm basing him solely on what I've seen in this tournament. Round 1, even round 1, I was there physically. I still don't know him by face. That's like how bad it was. If not for the flyer, I would not have known who he was. And all I knew about him was that he played the landing, so I liked him because of the landing. But from this point, after c4, he started playing like out of his mind. Like the rook infiltration. Some people would have been like, oh, the pawn, let me go for the pawn. But he sees that, no, if I take this now, my opponent can take and I have no infiltration. This also, that isn't a move you want to play. But from there on, he's been playing out of his mind. So maybe the state of his opponent. Oh, sorry, this is the current position here. Oh, he's resigned. Okay, he's resigned. But why would he resign here? Why would he resign here? Like this is strange. David Adriama, who was like murdering everybody, he's resigning in this position. Like he played until the end. Again, it's good for me. I get to rest early. It's not last time we close around 6. We get to rest early, but this is like this is what I'm saying, right? Like in phase 1, David Adriama would play till you like he had no other chance of survival. But look here. I mean, there's still play. I don't think he's completely killed yet. I mean, White is completely winning. But in his game against Bernard was completely winning. In his game against Bindy was completely winning. Like he was literally struggling for air. And now we come to this and he's just again, it makes perfect sense why he would play this. Let's say we go this. We have takes with check. We have here. And then after this here, takes. I think he's thinking that he doesn't get there in time. But like that, well, like this is just, there's still so much to live for. King comes in, you can't, like, I don't know why he just resigned. That's my point. Like, there was more fight. So him even resigning is like tiredness. Like, oh, but what is all this? And I know how, like, you've seen my streams where I'm just tilted and I'm just playing down moves. Like I can blunder on move 4. Right? It's kind of like the same thing that's happening here. Because he was losing the way his opponent played a subpar opening line. He equalized, which black is supposed to do. Then he allows Loglo Black into Daniel. That surname is always getting me. He allows he allows White back into the game when he had the opportunity to open everything up and free himself, like get back into the game. And like this is not him. I don't know if I should say it's Daniel playing better. It could be Daniel playing better, but I put it more on Adriama playing worse. That's how I see. Because this is Daniel's only victory. Again, guys, this is why you play the London system. This is why you play the London system. Just accept it. This is why. Anyway, I'm putting a target on my back. You know, the more you talk trash about people, the more they want to actually beat you over the board. So yeah, there's a target on my back now. So I have to not lose against anybody. Which is basically saying I have to win the nationals, right? Yeah. So interesting second round. We have Bernard Anhuere as the sole lead. And I think now Prince Akpa is clear second. Let me just check overview. Players, sorry. Yeah, so Bernard is clear first. Wari Gold is clear second. Prince Akpa is clear third. Hasford is clear fourth, and Clinton is fifth. Clinton is tied with Morris at 1.5, and the rest are tied at 1. If it's so simple, why the London system? Exactly. I mean, they have to answer for it, right? They claim it's trash. They claim it's bad. They claim they can't do anything. They insult people who play it. They say all the negative things about the landing, and yet they can't beat it. I mean, you can talk all the trash you want, you just can't beat it. At this point, just admit it, right? At this point, just admit it. You can't beat the London, which is why you have to get coached by me. So I do offer coaching. Always a nice way to segue into a personal plug. The point is, you email me so that I know exactly, so we can discuss what your terms are. This is not free. If you're thinking it's free, don't attempt it. If you want a free lesson, come on Tuesdays. But if you're interested in that, you can always email me and we can discuss everything, payment, everything on the email there. And yeah, always consider to subscribe to this channel. There are no games tomorrow. The next games are on Friday, I think 16th, 17th, and 18th. So next week is when the games will continue. Again, thank you guys so much. I always appreciate seeing you guys here, speaking in the chat, liking everything you guys do. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you on Monday. I'm doing all this, but then my casual streams don't end. I'll see you on Monday. Hopefully I can get back up. I've been on a very bad losing streak. But hopefully I can get back up my rating on Monday. Have a great rest of your day.